It's easy to feel overwhelmed when your house is full of stuff. I may or may not have learned this firsthand. So in the past year or so, I've been on a journey to simplify my stuff, my home, my life in general. And I've discovered that the biggest impact was not just when I massively decluttered our garage, but rather through those tiny changes I implemented in our home. So here are 20 tiny changes to instantly simplify your home and your life. The 5-5 rule. This is a challenge I came across, and it's something you can incorporate this week to basically go around your home and see if you can remove 5 items from 5 rooms of your home. So 5 items in each room. It might not sound like a big deal, but it's these tiny changes that make a big difference. Use a family calendar. We have started doing this especially after our second baby was born, because we realized between school stuff and appointments and work deadlines, we actually need some way to have everything organized into one place and somewhere where both myself and my husband can access things. So we simply use a Google Calendar. My husband and I have it synced up so we can both see any appointments, anything coming up. And it is a game changer because it's really simplified this way our life. We can easily see what's coming up, and it's just a way to ensure we don't really miss anything for the most part. Minimize your wardrobe. I cannot tell you how life-changing this is, but getting rid of items you don't actually like to wear, it sounds too simplistic, but it actually makes such a big difference when you open your wardrobe in the morning to have items you love to wear, items that make you feel good, and just knowing that everything in there is an option for you to wear. And it also makes laundry so much easier. And going along with this, have a uniform. It doesn't mean it has to be anything strict. It doesn't mean you only can wear this particular uniform. It's all about kind of finding your style and the type of items you love to wear. For example, in the summer, my uniform has been a lot of wide leg trousers and a simple top. And in the autumn, I'm all about leggings and a sweatshirt or a cozy knit jumper. It's all about finding those style combinations that make you feel really good, and they're really easy to put together. And while we're in the wardrobe, it also really helps to fold the Marie Kondo way. So that means folding everything up right. So when I put in a drawer things like my leggings, jeans, trousers, tops, anything like that, I try to fold them upwards so that I can see everything that's in the drawer. It's so simple, but it actually makes a huge difference. So thank you, Marie Kondo, for that. Say no. When you say yes to something, you are actually saying no to something else. And for me, it actually took a while for this to sink in. But for example, when I'm saying yes to keeping an item in my home, I'm actually saying no to creating space. I'm saying no to getting some of my time and energy back because now I have this extra item I have to take care of. When I say yes to buying an item, I'm saying no to saving money. So it really was an interesting perspective shift that has stuck with me. This is actually something I learned from Gabe Bolt's class on Skillshare, which is also the sponsor of today's video. For the past few months, I have done a deep dive into Skillshare, and I have honestly learned so much. I figured since it's back to school season for the kids, I might as well go back to school myself. Skillshare is the largest online learning community that has thousands of classes available on loads of topics. There are so many creative classes by industry experts. I've been particularly interested in the classes on marketing and business, obviously for my online business, on productivity, which is a big one for me, and also on filmmaking, because I'm constantly trying to improve my video skills for my YouTube channel. You can be the judge of that if it's working or not. Also loved Ali Abdul's productivity one using the Notion platform. That's been a game changer for me. And I'm also taking a learning path to practice my piano skills as well. I really like how all the content is on demand, so I can watch whenever it's convenient for me. And the best part is that you can actually start using Skillshare for free right now. The first 500 people to join Skillshare through my link down below get 1 month of premium access completely free. How cool is that? So you could start a class, learn a new skill, and either apply it to your career or maybe build a whole new career out of it, like I did on here. I never thought building my online business from home through social media can be so life-changing. And I absolutely attribute a huge part of my growth to being constantly interested in learning new skills that I can apply to my content creation. So let me know which class you would start with and what you would be interested to learn in the comments below. Give everything a home. So when I looked around my home, I tried to create a little place for everything to go to. So whether that's batteries, they can have a drawer where they belong, whether it's sun cream, umbrella, sunglasses, anything like that, it needs to have a place in your home. All of the paperwork that kids bring in from school, everything needs to have its own home, because if it doesn't, that's when it usually ends up on all the flat surfaces on the floor. It just gets thrown around because it doesn't have a specific place to go to. Don't put it down, put it away. I've actually loved this habit, and I've been trying to keep it in mind and just kind of do it as I go along my day. So if I've got something in my hand, I'm not gonna just put it down on a random surface. Instead, I'm gonna try to take it back to the place where it belongs. And it's something that takes a few seconds to do, but it really adds up throughout the day. All that stuff used to be money. I have learned this the hard way, but looking at all the clutter that I have taken out of my home and thinking about the fact that every single one of those items has cost me money, and the fact that I don't need it and I'm giving it away means I have wasted a lot of that money. Of course, some of the items I might have gotten some use out of, but when we think about all of those things in terms of money, it really puts things into perspective, and it's helped me kind of be more of an intentional shopper so that I make sure I don't buy a lot of clutter anymore that I don't really need. Whenever you go north, this is such a simple change you can do, but whenever you go north, take something that belongs north with you. So if I'm going to the kitchen, I am going to look around and see if there are any mugs or anything that belongs in the kitchen to take with me. If I'm going downstairs, I'm going to see if I need to bring any clothes downstairs. Anything like that that I can do throughout the day will make my life easier, and it will make the tidying just quicker because there won't be piles of things and lots of delayed actions and decisions. The Outbox or donation box is a really good one as well. We have this little basket in our understairs cupboard where I just throw things in. So if I spot a toy that has not been played with, if I spot some clothes the kids have outgrown, or my clothes that I'm not wearing anymore, I'll just take it and pop it in that Outbox. And whenever I get a chance, like I'm going into town and I can go to the charity shop, I'll just take that with me. Or if we get one of those donation bags through our letterbox, then I can simply fill it up, put it outside the house, and just get that out of my home. So if I can make decluttering easier, I'm more likely to do it. An inbox system is also really helpful as well. So somewhere where all of your letters can go, all of the inbox mail kind of thing that you get, whether that's letters or birthday invites, it's really helpful if you can have a letter folder. That's what we have, or maybe a tray somewhere around the entrance. That's gonna keep things from getting lost and getting thrown all over the house. Also, junk mail gets recycled straight away. I don't need it cluttering up my home. I also try to go paperless as much as I can. So all of our bills, everything like that is pretty much digitized. We get it through our email instead of getting a paper copy of it, because there's no point really. We've digitized a lot of paperwork we don't have to have the original copy of, and that means there's no piles of paper everywhere. We have 2 folders that are, important paperwork we need to keep, and that's it. We don't have piles and piles of papers. Have eye-level coat pegs for kids. This is something I didn't think about for the longest time. I would always put my kids' clothes on a hanger, but obviously because they're tiny, they're not going to go ahead and put their coats on a hanger. So instead, I put some pegs at their eye level, and they've got their name at the top, just like they do at school. And so my son knows exactly where his coat belongs. And this means, I'm not saying he does it perfectly every time, but this means he knows there is a place where that coat goes. And it makes it more likely for them to actually help tidy up, and it makes keeping on top of the house easier. I've also found really helpful having a basket or a tray where all of the school papers go. So when they come back from school, that's where it all goes. It doesn't get thrown around the flat surfaces. And we also know where to find them when we need to address them, right? When we need to do homework or read a book they got sent from school. It's so easy when you know exactly where to find those. Visual clutter can be a big one. Sometimes we declutter our homes and we feel like, well, there's not that much for me to get rid of anymore, but it still feels heavy. It still feels like there's a lot going on. That might be because there's a lot of visual clutter. It doesn't mean you have to have a neutral colored home by any means. It doesn't mean you need to get rid of everything you love, but sometimes simplifying your decor just a little bit can actually reduce that visual clutter and can make it a more calm and relaxing space for you to be in. Everybody's different, so you can find kind of your own balance that works for you here. Have a charging station. It can be a drawer or a cupboard, anything like that, where you put all of the charging stuff, all the cables. That's where we charge our laptop, phone, iPad, my camera equipment. Anything like that goes in there. If we didn't have that charging station, all of those charging cables would be all over the house. Tidy while you cook. I cannot explain how much easier this makes things. So when I'm cooking dinner, If I'm finished with the cooking oil, I will put it away. If I'm finished with the salt and pepper, I will put it away. I'll give the cutting board a quick clean if I'm finished chopping the veggies. All of these little things while I cook means that when we're finished eating dinner, there's not going to be a huge explosion in my kitchen. It's going to be a quick tidy, and future me will thank me for that. And also keep less on kitchen counters. I like to use my 5-7 rule. So if it's an appliance or a gadget that I use 5 days out of 7, or pretty much every day, then that means it can be out on the counters. And for me, that's coffee machine, toaster, kettle, things like that. But things like a blender that I use maybe once, twice a week, I don't really need to keep out. Obviously, everybody's different, but it really helps to clear out those kitchen counters because it makes cleaning so much easier, and it also gives you more space for when you're cooking. Introducing these tiny changes have truly simplified our home and our life, and it's just made things much easier to manage.